Michael, this morning police need your help finding whoever robbed a Leelanau County bank at gunpoint. The Leelanau County Sheriff says they're also investigating 2 calls that may have been made to get deputies away from the bank. The calls came just minutes before the Huntington Bank in Empire was robbed. The sheriff says those 2 calls were about a school shooting and another bank robbery. Neither of them turned out to be true. Take a look at this surveillance photo. Deputies say this robber flashed a gun and took a large amount of money. Investigators spent all afternoon yesterday working to recover fingerprints from the bank. K-9 units followed a possible lead, tracking the trail of the potential robber. The bank is now offering a $10,000 reward as deputies look into a stolen car and a possible lead in Glen Arbor.
We're trying to find out if anybody out there watching this has seen an individual in downtown Empire or Glen Arbor who appears to be dressed in that fashion, again in all dark clothing with a dark mask and an umbrella over his head as he came in.
Police say the robber is a white man, roughly 50 years old and 6 feet tall. He was last seen wearing all black, including his backpack. He was covering his face with a mask and black umbrella, and he was also carrying a silver handgun.
A baby was left alone sitting inside of a car seat in a parking lot in Benzie County. The Sheriff's Department says it happened Tuesday morning at the Secretary of State in Honor. Staff there saw the baby and called 911. The sheriff says a man came into the Secretary of State with his 1-year-old in a car seat for license plate tags. But when it was time to leave, he made a mistake and forgot to put the baby back in the car before driving off without it. It didn't take long for someone to notice, take the baby inside the Secretary of State and call 911. The child was taken to Munson Medical Center in Traverse City as a precaution, but was not hurt. Child Protective Services and the prosecutor's office have both been notified, and the baby is back home this morning. Lightning struck a pole, sparking a fire that destroyed a Lake County home. It happened around 5 last night near 40th Street and Kings Highway in Cherry Valley Township. When crews got to the house, they found flames coming out of a bedroom window. A woman and 2 dogs inside made it out safely. Fire crews were able to contain the flames to just 1 room, but with smoke damage, they still think the home is destroyed. A captain with the Yates Township Fire Department says they believe that a lightning strike is to blame because of the way outlets and light fixtures were sparking. The captain says everyone made it out of the house safely. We're learning more details this morning about a Texas man who was killed by lightning after it struck him in the head in Manistee County. Stephen Olson was with family and friends on North Country Trail in Dixon Township when a storm rolled in Tuesday afternoon. Deputies say the group started to pick up their pace when the rain came, but just minutes later, the group saw a flash that hit Olson. One person began CPR, but it didn't work. Olson died at the scene. The U.S. Forest Service says it's important to know conditions before going outside, and if you are caught by surprise, the Forest Service advises you get away from tall trees and crouch on the ground to become a less attractive lightning target.
5:04 Michigan this morning, and in continuing coverage of the 2016 presidential election, both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton appeared at their first joint event before November's general election. They spoke to veterans and active service members in New York. As Hannah Daniels tells us, both candidates appeared back-to-back at the Commander-in-Chief Forum.
The main thing is I have great judgment.
Donald Trump sought to win over voters, including servicemen and women last night, maintaining he was against the war in Iraq.
I was totally against the war in Iraq.
And hinting at a private plan to defeat ISIS.
If I win, I don't want to broadcast to the enemy exactly what my plan is.
The Republican nominee was challenged by this Army veteran who questioned his immigration policy for military members.
Do you believe that an undocumented person who wants to serve in the U.S. Armed Forces deserves to stay in this country legally?
That's a very special situation, and I could see myself working that out, absolutely.
Trump grew defensive when questioned by moderator Matt Lauer about his relationship with Russia's president.
If he says great things about me, I'm going to say great things about him.
An absolute rock steadiness.
Hillary Clinton, who appeared on stage first, touted her temperament while drawing a line in the Middle East.
We are not putting ground troops into Iraq ever again, and we're not putting ground troops into Syria.
The Democratic nominee spent much of the night defending herself against her email scandal.
I communicated about classified material on a wholly separate system. I took it very seriously.
The two candidates go head-to-head in their first presidential debate at the end of the month. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
In this update, people who live near the Zika zones in Florida are now protesting the chemical used to kill the virus-carrying mosquitoes. An upset crowd of Wynwood and Miami Beach residents gathered to express their concerns over the insecticide that was used for weeks in early August. The Miami-Dade mayor says public health experts have assured him that the amount of the chemical used is harmless to humans and is proven effective at reducing the number of mosquitoes. But regardless of that reassurance, some say they don't agree.
My tongue for 4 hours felt so tight and shaky, I was about to go to the emergency room.
More spraying will be done tomorrow and then again on Sunday. Some residents have even started to pick up and move temporarily until the area is clear. A Grand Traverse County nonprofit wants to make it easier for more students to ride their bikes to school.
And it's hard to ride a bike when it's not working properly, and that's why they've come up with a pop-up bike shop on wheels that's helping kids patch up their bicycles for free. New on Michigan This Morning, 9 and 10's Adora Namigade is live in the newsroom with more on the El Barrio Bike Fix. Good morning, Adora.
Good morning, Adam and Courtney. This bike shop on wheels plans to take turns setting up at different Traverse City schools this fall, giving kids the tools and the knowledge to fix their bikes themselves.
We're partnering with 5 neighborhood schools, the 5 TCAP schools, and we just provide pop-up bike fix whenever, as weather allows and principals will have us.
Norte is a nonprofit that does a lot to get more kids on bikes. The organization's director, Ty Schmidt, is now peddling their brand new bike shop to schools, giving students the ability to get problems fixed before and after class.
Today I was kind of shocked at how the bikes just needed a little love. And there's not a lot of love, but a bike that works well is so much more fun to ride. There was hardly any pressure in the tires, brakes that weren't working, chains that were rusted.
Eastern Elementary School is the site for the shop and will have about 100 bikes on the racks when the weather is clear.
Kids that get a little exercise in before school are able to kind of focus and sustain learning just a little bit longer, perhaps, than peers that didn't.
Right now, they hope to be available to students at least once or twice a week.
As you're out around town, you get a flat tire, maybe you're riding out on your own. What do you do with that? It's important for kids to know.
Giving these riders skills and independence that make cycling that much more accessible.
As they get older and you start realizing that bikes are just more than just for fun, they're actually ways of getting around that, it saves you a lot of money to know how to take care of your own bike.
Norte is having a fundraising event this Saturday. We're going to have more information for you on that on our website, 9and10news.com. Live in the newsroom, I'm Adora Namigade from Michigan This Morning.
Great cause worthy of helping out. Definitely.
Yeah, and great lessons to be learned as well.
Certainly. 5:09 now, Michigan This Morning, and still to come this half hour. Some are starting out a little soggy, but Michael says sky should clear later today. Find out when in your full forecast at 5:12.
At 5:21, it's the first week of school for many Northern Michigan students, so we're showing off your favorite back-to-school Throwback Thursday photos. And 2 rival high schools are preparing for their annual Patriot game. Hear about the special cause from some of the players in sports at 5:24.